8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese, a real beautiful company.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put there a number of hours before. Early in the morning, they went to with the black robe, the black robe, shield, black. And they pulled out the votes. Those votes Those votes were put there a number of hours before. Early in the morning, they went to. How many people do that? You mean they moved out and then they said, "Ah, the hell with it, I'll move back out." They pulled out back out. Those votes were put there a number of hours and then they said, "Ah, the hell with it, I'll move back out." They went to. It doesn't sound like a very normal. You mean they moved out and they pulled? And what? They missed it so much that they wanted to move back in? Yeah, it's like it's crazy.
Well, and
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, "No, this is soup from my family." They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, "No, this is just soup from my family." And then the media says, "This is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people." And then they have cans of soup.
Watch Hillary examine the terrain. Watch a campaign with the man Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine in the membrane. Tim Kaine in the brain.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics, puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pulls. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pull filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off the 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And those days, you used to remember the straight razor, you'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty. You used to remember the straight razor, you'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in.
Hello, users, and welcome to the motherfucking goddamn. And I'm your host, the goddamn motherfucker. And this is a goddamn show. This is, folks, that's right, above it, motherfucking all. We are here. I am here. I don't know about y'all. Y'all are probably not here. Rocking some Toy Story apparel. Folks, check this out. I'm a fan of Toy Story. That's right. It's been revealed. This is a great announcement. No one's ever known that before. Gonna drink some of my Walmart water. My canned Walmart water. And, the CWW. And, hello users. Welcome to the goddamn. There's, multiple, goddams for you today. So I'm gonna be doing a show. That's right, folks. I got a show. It's lined up. We got a whole entire show here. In fact, I got a show here, and then I've also got a show over there, and that one's just brewing. It's fermenting right now. It's almost ready. And then once this show is done, I'm gonna bring out that show. And then we got a show. But anyway, we got a goddamn show, folks. Yeah. Let's do the show. I get a show here. When am I gonna be on the show? The show! When am I gonna be on the show? I got a great act, folks. I got a great fucking act. We got several goddams. Folks, pretty soon here, I'm going to be getting back into the swing of things, in so far as I'm going to be getting back into the swing of things in so far as. Does that make any sense? That's an expression. People say that. In so far as. So I'm going to be getting back into the swing of things in regards to the show length. So I'm going to be trying to stretch the shows back out to an hour and a half to 2 hours. This is what I did as the standard before the protest started. I've done a couple shows that have reached that length, but I'm going to be trying more so to do that because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that I would like to talk about that I end up not talking about and then forgetting about. So I'm going to try to do some more show length for people so that they can enjoy the show. We're going to enjoy the show together. obviously this does not encapsulate Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays and Sundays will probably be shorter nonetheless. But weekdays, I'm going to try to have 90 minutes be the standard. Insofar as. That's a phrase, isn't it? Like, I'm going to Google this. Insofar as. Where have I heard this before? Insofar as. To the extent that the tool is able to cater to almost any need insofar as graphs are concerned. Okay, so I'm just an intelligent ass motherfucker. I'm just smart. It's because I'm smart, and y'all need to really start respecting my intelligence. And I am very, very smart insofar as my capabilities to be capable to successfully succeed at what I am doing at this current moment in time. So we got a can of Walmart water. Thank you for financing this. I agree, Catherine. Thank you. All right, let's get the fucking show started. So yesterday was day 156 of protests in the city of Elizabeth City and the county of Pasquotank County, North Carolina, over the police assassination of Andrew Brown Jr. that took place on April 21st, 2021. We've been out here marching every single day for 156 days. And, you know, I think our demonstrations are picking up some steam. We've got a lot more people that have been coming out more frequently, which is a good thing. I appreciate that. And we have been getting louder. We've been getting more, you know, we've been getting louder. In our chanting, we've got more megaphones now, so that's also good news. Yeah, we've been out here for 156 days. Not much has changed in the last 24 hours. Again, the most recent updates are that the Pasquotank County Commission is spending 69,000 United States dollars in an effort to train their officers and to call them peace officers. That's right, folks. I know, I will never get over this. They're going to call themselves peace officers. So again, next time you have an officer shoot and kill someone in a school zone, you can be rest assured they're peace officers. I remember during one of the protests, we're now getting to the point where the protests have been going on so long, I've got old stories of earlier in the, like, that's the era we're in. But I think it was like day 20 something. And I was asking an officer why they let Lisa O'Quinn, the soon-to-be convicted person who drove the car into the crowd. I was asking one of the officers why they let that happen, and their response was, "We're trying to keep the peace." This was like later in the day. I was asking them, "What were you thinking? Why did you do this? What is it that you think you're doing right now?" And the officer opened his mouth and said, "We're trying to keep the peace." Like, I really, that resonates with me so much, because in their world, right, keeping the peace entails letting a conservative, racist neo-Nazi, she literally had neo-Nazi iconography on her Facebook, neo-Confederate iconography on her Facebook, letting them attack Black Lives Matter marchers is, in their world, keeping the peace. And what that means to me is that they would, if they could, do those things, but they feel like they can't, and therefore they outsource that to other people. And again, that also tracks with a different cop, the same cop that drove out of the way and let Lisa O'Quinn attack 3 protesters. That cop, when I asked them in the moment, 30 seconds after the car hit a protester, and started driving away, I asked that cop, "Why aren't you arresting them?" And they said to me, "We have to keep them safe from you." And again, this is the kind of thing that happens in the Elizabeth City Police Department. Now, there's a lot of people. Now, again, I want to be very clear. There are 2 departments that occupy Elizabeth City. the Gestapo that occupy our city. We have two different departments. We have the Elizabeth City Police, and we have the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department. The Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department are the ones who murdered Andrew Brown Jr. But the Elizabeth City Police Department are the ones who did a horrible, absolutely atrocious job at managing the protests that ensued. And so the Elizabeth City police officers are the ones who said, we have to protect, you know, that angry Confederate who was screaming the N-word out her window? Yeah, we got to protect her from you. After she hit 3 people, we got to protect her from the people on the ground writhing in agony. They are obviously angry savages, and they're going to swarm and attack this innocent neo-Confederate who is screaming racial slurs and driving into people. Like, again, that is just, it's incredible to me that these people, and they're still out there. They still have their jobs. It's incredible to me. It's incredible to me. It's incredible. Like, everything that has happened in Elizabeth City really has cemented in my brain the idea that there is no such thing as a good cop, because all the other cops just watched. So that cop got out of the way as someone was screaming racial slurs, opening up a driving path. They hit 3 people. Then they said they needed to protect the Confederate from everyone else. And every other police officer just watched. They're all like, yup, that's right, that's what's happening, yup. That's the world we live in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And again, I feel like a lot of people do not remember this. I feel like people are forgetting that these things happen. But anyway, you know, that's just, it's incredible to me that they're also spending $69,000 to rebrand the sheriff's department as peace officers. The same department that assassinated someone, shooting several bullets into stray bullets into other houses, just completely unrelated houses. They're now calling themselves peace officers. Are they going to do anything? Are they going to fire the deputies? Are they going to do anything at all? No. They're just going to steal some money, funnel it through their money laundering bullshit, and then rebrand themselves new uniforms for the sheriff's department. Oh, just kidding. The peace officers department. The whole thing is a joke. The whole thing is a fucking joke. And I really, it's incredible to me. Peace officers is some fucking Ministry of Truth shit. I mean, it really is. Folks, I'm going through a little bit right now. I'm trying to cut back on caffeine. So what I've been doing is I've been having 1 cup of coffee in the morning and that's it. Down from my average of 3, sometimes 4, every now and then 5. I would have a lot. I've been drinking way too much motherfucking coffee. And so I'm trying to cut back, and I'm really starting. This is day 2 of me cutting back, and I'm really feeling the effects of that. I mean, I'm feeling the effects. Woo! Drinking some Walmart water in a can, folks. Tolerance sucks. I am a very, so much for the tolerant left. Let me tell you that. My tolerance, boo, in the garbage can. Or at least that's the goal. Wow, there's so much cringe to talk about today. Where the fuck do I even begin? There's so much cringe. There's just an astronomical amount of cringe. There's cringe coming out of the goddamn. Well, while we're on the subject of cops, this video that I'm about to play, this video went viral about a week ago, and you know, I'm gonna watch it now. The thing about this video that y'all maybe have seen is the police response here. So there was a bar of some kind in New York, I believe, and the owner of this establishment is a black person, and they called the police on an uppity-ass white bitch. Also, their name is Karen. Her name is, it's Karen. It's, you know, I don't even know. Right? So, her name is Karen, and she is screaming racial slurs. And the police, now again, the role of police in society is not to protect people. They don't give a shit. The role of police in society is to protect and serve capital. They always side on the end of the business owner, right? They will always side with those that have property. That is their goal, to protect property. Except when that property is owned by a black person. And so I want to play this video. It's multiple parts, but I want to get through it because the police reaction here. Again, you need to understand, cops are garbage. There is no such thing as a good cop. There are degrees of how bad cops can be, right? But there is no good cop. So let's watch.
Do I seem like I'm being unreasonable?
I mean,
We can talk about that. We can talk about that. We can talk about that. Bring it. No, you can't bring it up.
the drink's done.
You fucking stupid cunt. You stupid cunt.
Yeah. She just called me a stupid cunt. You guys hear that?
Yeah, you know what? You are a fuck. You're the problem and you're the nigger. We got it.
And the thing is, imagine saying this in front of the police. That's the thing about it that's just so absolutely incredible to me, is she says this in front of the police. The police are literally in the room. They are in the room. They are right there. And she feels, right, that she is somehow within her rights to say this in front of the police. And that's what happens in the United States of America. Again, like, imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if the roles were reversed. Like, the cops would be beating this woman down if the roles were reversed and it was a white business owner and a unruly black patron. They would probably be dying in a ditch somewhere. But this is how police react when it's white people causing problems.
Do it.
I love the watermark, by the way, of Crazy Karens.
You guys know you're the problem. Unfortunately. Stop.
Let's go.
Out of my bar.
We got it.
You guys are the problem.
You are the problem. Get your cis white ass out of my bar. Don't
You
come
fucking
here with
kidding
that
me?
You call me the N-word, then it will be a fuck up on site the next time.
Oh, fuck you.
Don't. You
Get
use
the
the
fuck out.
N-word ever
Get the fuck
to
out.
my friends or my face.
And just notice the cops' behavior.
We really don't need you falling up behind me. Everything else is...
Look at this. The cop is, oh, we really don't need you. But now, the other person is drunk and trying to destroy things and screaming racial slurs at the business owner. And the cop is just saying, let's get out of here. Let's go. Like, treating it like it's, you know, your uncle or so. Like, oh, this is, you know, my sister's at it again. You know, that's how the cops are treating them. But again, imagine if the roles were reversed, and now the cop is going to start instigating with the person who is the victim here. And
Safety
Go
is...
ahead.
I don't want you...
ahead.
I don't
We're
want
not
you in my
dangerous.
face. Thank
I'm not
you.
in your
We're
face.
not dangerous.
Okay. Your word doesn't mean anything to me. Okay? Could you please just
My
back
word
off?
doesn't mean anything.
think about that, right? The black business owner calls the motherfucking police, saying, hey, I've got some dumb bitch in here, can you go get her? And the cops are like, your word doesn't mean anything to me. If her word didn't mean anything, why did you show up? But again, What? Okay, so you answer the phone call. All right, we're on our way. You show up. I don't really care. Why did you show up?
No, you rolling up behind me. I can touch you. You cannot. This is my...
I can touch you. That's what the cop is saying. The cop is putting his big, beefy, meaty paws in this woman's face. And she asks him to stop. And he feels like he has the right to touch any woman he wants. It's about safety. It's about safety. What?
Safety, okay?
Your safety?
What do you asked us to
the weapons on, dude?
I don't care. I don't know what you... I don't know you...
Cops feel like they can walk around with guns and ammo strapped to them at all times. Imagine that. This thug gangster is walking around with guns strapped to them. And the woman is like, you have guns on you and you're afraid of me? And then this guy is like, but I don't know if you have guns. Well, guess what? I know that you have a gun, motherfucker. Again, these stupid, dumb fuck motherfuckers genuinely are under the impression that it's just totally normal that they walk around with guns, grenades, ammo, stun guns, tasers, batons, weapons of war, chemical weapons. Yeah, they're military soldiers. That's totally normal. But a black person asking you for help? You might have a gun, you're black. Of course you have a gun. What?
Come at him. You might have weapons on you. Shit. Okay, then let us conduct our job and stay away. Thank you.
Fucking asshole.
I don't know what transpired there, but the manager asked you to leave.
I'm actually one of the managers as well.
Jamala, why do you call the owner?
I did. He told me to tell you to leave and call the cops. He doesn't need to come here. He told me to tell you to leave.
He doesn't need to be here. He doesn't need to
like, I got asking for the... It's like it's the bit where it's like, can I speak to the manager? And then the other person spins around, right, in place. Hello, I'm the manager, right? What is going on here? I really, like, the whole thing is bizarre. But it gets worse. I mean, you're thinking it's pretty bad so far. It gets worse.
Only white people can get away with this shit.
She is so dumb, man.
The only way people
Get away with what shit?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you heard that, but the cop got triggered because the manager of this bar said only white people can get away with this. And now the cop is triggered. Now, did the cop get upset when this disgusting, dumb bitch used racial slurs? Nah. Whatever. Who cares? But when a black person makes an obvious statement like only white people could get away with it, now all of a sudden... Oh, why'd you bring race into it?
It's always a white person problem.
No, we're not doing that right now.
Right?
No, yeah, we are. Because you just went there.
You did.
Using racial slurs. I sleep. Saying, yeah, white people, LMAO. You just went there. Why are you bringing race into it? Why would you bring race into this? I know that we just use racial slurs at your bar, but how dare you say white people? You just went there. What? Went where?
You went there.
Stop. You need to go.
I'm sorry.
I feel bad for that dog, by the way. There's a part 2.
Zip up your pants.
Don't talk to me like that.
I can talk to you any way I feel like it.
Really?
Yeah, really. You want to go ahead and challenge that? Zip up your shit and let's go. Now,
I also want to be very clear that while this is really fun to watch, cops should not act like that to anybody. Like, let's be honest here, right? Like, I can tell you to do whatever I want. No, you cannot tell anyone to do whatever you want, right? So this cop is really just, like, out of the park losing at all fronts, right? They're getting mad and saying, oh, you went there, when someone makes a statement about a white person after that white person used several racial slurs in front of them. And now they're just yelling at everyone. Again, I really need you to understand, cops are abusive thugs. at all times. They will always, every single moment, expect the cop to make the worst possible decision. And what is this guy doing? What is that thing the cops do? They walk around like this. Yep, I'm a normal person. Who does that? Who walks around like this? Yep. Look at me, I'm normal. What?
You want to act like a child, you're going to get treated like a child. Okay. Okay, well, we could talk about that away from here. You're not going to continue to egg this situation on. Let's go.
And I will press charges.
Press charges for what?
Against who?
Really?
Let's go. Let's go. Zip up your bag.
Yo, don't talk to me like that.
I can talk to you any way I feel like it.
Anyway, that's the video, folks. I really need you all to understand that this is like, again, every aspect of this video is just extremely cringe. Every single aspect of it. And like, again, the one thing that you'd think, oh, of course, cops are here to protect property. And they still somehow fail to do that. So their actual job, their real role in society, they still fail, right? And then again, like, why did they bring her outside? And then that's it. Like, you should have brought her into, like, a car and driven her off to, like, you know, somewhere, drive her home or something. Like, that's the thing. She is clearly drunk. She is clearly unstable. Get her in a fucking squad car, drop her off home. I don't know. But instead, they're staying out here, they're instigating, they're causing a problem, and it's just the whole thing here is just bizarre. But this is policing in America, folks. This is policing in America. And this is the kind of shit that y'all need to, like, be aware of. There's a lot of people still, somehow, that don't think all cops are bastards. I really, oh, my best friend's cousin's niece's uncle was a cop, and one time I met him at a party and I had a 40-second conversation with him while I was waiting for my scotch at the bar, and he was telling me about how he saved a puppy from a railroad track. I don't give a fuck, okay, motherfucker, because when your fucking stupid ass bitch motherfuck is saving puppies at the fucking the railroad track, every other moment they're probably doing some shady motherfucking shit. And again, I fucking hate cops, I hate America, I hate everything about it, and this video just exemplifies all of it. So, just wanted to play that. God, cops are just horrible people. They're just so bad. But, like, I'm gonna transition into this, because this one I also saw. This isn't cops, but this is, like, you know, the people that like cops, right? These are the kind of people, right? Like, okay? Alright, folks. So, a school board candidate... Oh, I'm just going to play the video. A school board candidate said some really interesting stuff.
Because I don't want your children to be labeled a Hitler supporter. Mine were, because they supported Trump. Whatever you want to support, support it. But when you walk into North Scott...
Yeah, so what if I'm supporting apartheid? Segregation of people based on race. Why are you calling me Hitler? So what if I think that we should kill certain minorities, right? Why are you calling me Hitler, bro? I'm allowed to support genocide. Doesn't mean I'm Hitler. What?
I want it to be white. Maybe white's not the best word. I don't want it to be political. You're left, you're right, it doesn't matter. I want you to be about academics. I want you to be about history, English, arithmetic.
This guy knows a lot about history.
Calculus, science, chemistry, biology. Leave the LBGT flag and the Trump flag at home. Leave these political...
Notice, by the way, the LBGT flag, that's political. Yes, gay people exist. Why are you being so political? Black people, guess what? They're real. Oh, why are you bringing race into these things?
Agendas and assumptions at home. If I don't know what a teacher stands for, if they're a Republican...
You're saying the comment about the white is that you're... Would you want to clarify that a little bit?
So when I talk about politically being white. I'm asking you. I'm asking teachers, students, and administrators.
Motherfucker, I have
to be neutral.
It's hard to hear, but just listen.
Left or right. I apologize for using the color. It almost speaks to the environment that we're in.
Does.
Are we hyper sensitive to color? Are we hypersensitive to gender? Are we hypersensitive to this? What did that word mean? My goodness, that's kind of what we gotta stop. The hypersensitivity, the hyperexposure. So I'm sorry I said we want to make our schools white. I want to make our schools neutral when it comes to political agendas. Let's leave all that out.
There are two races, white and political. What? But again, I really need you all to understand, this is the next wave of Trumpism. This is the next wave of Trumpism right here. They're going to be running for school boards, and they're saying this shit, and this guy's got a good chance of winning. There are two sexual orientations, super straight and political. Like, you know what, right, like, I'm out of words. I have no more words. I ran out. I'm gonna have to go to the store and find some more words because I'm out. This whole thing, I mean, again, there's just so much going on here. I want our schools to be white. Why are you calling me Hitler? I just said I wanted my schools to be white. You call me Hitler for? How would, Mike K, $5. How would an anarchist society deal with rape and murder? I've seen some anarchists that say that punishment would be exile. Seems kind of whack to me. First of all, what is an anarchist society in your estimation here? In my opinion, I think all these hypotheticals don't mean anything, because let's assume we actually reach an anarchist society, it's not going to look anything like it is now. Like, I don't think it's possible for us to transition into communism or an anarchist kind of state of governance at any time before automation and technology just becomes such a huge force that we can do anything. I mean, look at, like, tech companies are already making these, like, big headways into technology that will allow people to serve out, like, 1,000-year prison sentences in their own brains in the span of, like, 20 minutes, like in that episode of Black Mirror, right? So, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, we're going to be, like, entering a world where technology is at a point where all of these hypotheticals don't really mean anything anymore. But that being said, if, let's say, hypothetically, that we would have achieved a communistic society and people still, for whatever reason, feel the need to rape and murder, yeah, get them out of there. Send them off to an island, give them, like, the bonus chest, like in Minecraft, and then, like, let's see how long they last. And we can get some news cameras on drones, and we can watch them do it, and it can be like, people can take bets. Is the rapist going to last 3 hours in the wilderness? They're going to last 9 hours, and then people can actually, you know, have a little fun with it. That's what I think, personally. But I do think the whole thing is so astronomically hypothetical that it's, I don't know, it's a little silly to talk about. George Carlin did this bit 25 years ago. I bet he did. I bet he did. How would a trial system work in anarchism? Pretty similar to how it works now, I think, except, like, without the corruption angles. I would say that leaving unilateral decisions up to a singular judge is not the best way to go about things, of course, but Folks, my can of Walmart water. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Fuck! Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's possible to eliminate all crime forever. I don't think that that's an achievable goal, nor should we assume that that's going to happen. I think, unfortunately, vigilantism would run rampant. If someone kills someone, their family will kill them for revenge. That is the society we live in right now. Mr. Freak, it's seltzer. A lot of people have a misconception that anarchism means that there's no laws and no enforcement mechanisms, but that's not true. If someone kills someone, they get dealt with accordingly. Alright, we got some more shit. Got some more shit. I still have insofar as open in a tab. Pretty good. So let's transition, folks, into another pretty good segment. This shit's pretty funny, and I'm gonna watch this. There's like 3 minutes of this, but it should be really fun. I don't know who Ethan Schmidt is, but if you want to send that to me. I haven't covered AOC yet, but that's on the docket. I mean, you can consider whatever you want leftist. I mean, my thing is like dreaming up these hypothetical glory societies without technology involved. I think it's just a huge waste of time. Unless like you you need to account for technology. Like if the understanding is that there's going to be such a big climate apocalypse that all technological process will be reset, or we're going to have like a big giant like magnetic earthquake that's going to destroy all the computers in the whole world, and then we go back to like year one, or if that's the understanding that we're dealing with, then you know, maybe. But I think technology is going to solve a lot of these problems. Check my DMs. I will do that tomorrow. Sal, is that okay? Anyway, let's talk about this. So, Bill de Blasio issued an order to the president of Brazil. Don't come to New York. Well, he came to New York anyway, and let's watch what happened.
So de Blasio just issued a warning to Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro. He told Bolsonaro not to come to the UN General Assembly because he's not vaccinated.
We need to send a message to all the world leaders, including most notably Bolsonaro from Brazil, that if you intend to come here, you need to be vaccinated. If you don't want to be vaccinated, don't bother coming, because everyone should be safe together.
Really? Because Bolsonaro already recovered from COVID, so he doesn't need the vaccine. No one who's recovered.
Of course, folks, Tucker Carlson is lying to you. If you recover from COVID, you do not have as much protection as someone who is vaccinated. And if you had COVID and then get vaccinated, you will have even more protection. So Tucker Carlson is lying to you. You're being lied to in this instance.
From COVID needs the vaccine. They have greater immunity than people who get the vaccine.
That is not
true.
This
is insane.
That is
so
not
Bolsonaro
true.
Came anyway. He was photographed eating pizza in New York City. As you can see, he had to eat it outside because he's not vaccinated. Eduardo Bolsonaro is a Brazilian politician. He's the son of the president of Brazil. He joins us to respond to Bill de Blasio. Mr. Bolsonaro, thanks so much for coming on tonight. We appreciate it. So were you tempted, was your father tempted to cancel the trip to New York because the failed mayor didn't want him there?
The failed mayor?
Yes, it happened in 2019, and it shows a lot how left-wing people are. They want to control everything. But I know that de Blasio is a Marxist.
Okay, so folks, it shows how left-wing people are. They want to control everything. De Blasio is a Marxist. Let's go.
That follows a lot what Antonio Gramsci says. And for them, everything is about politics and ideology. So he'll never be polite with us. And to be really, I don't care that much about what he thinks. I don't waste my time listening.
Of course, the Bolsonaro family are the same family that orchestrated a political coup in Brazil and made up a bunch of fake-ass bullshit to send their leading presidential candidate to jail so that the guy who no one wanted would just be the default winner. But everything's about politics. They want complete control. The Marxists do. Not the fascist that literally orchestrated a coup in Brazil and threw the fucking leading presidential candidate that was leading by double digits in jail over trumped up garbage. That's not controlling everything. Installing your own far-right judge so that they can convict someone on fake political garbage, that's not controlling anything, actually. It's the Marxists who are controlling you because they want you to take medicine.
To him.
It's interesting. I love hearing the foreign perspective because sometimes people who don't live here see things with a greater clarity because they're not as caught up in the details. The first thing you said was de Blasio is a Marxist. That's obvious to you.
Folks, Bill de Blasio, noted cop lover, is a Marxist.
Sure, yes, because this thing that when you think that you know what is better for the other people than the other people's opinion, it shows a lot about who you are.
What does that have to do with Marxism?
It's very strange, Tucker, that you as founding fathers, you gave a big example for the whole world when you make your Constitution and the First Amendment. Because you said there that everybody, all human beings, have the right of the life and the liberty. And nowadays,
what does that have to do
looks
with
like some politicians, they forgot about that.
What does that have to do with Marxism? I'm waiting.
Don't care about that. Looks like some politicians, they forgot about that. They just don't care about that. They will control everybody's life. And in a point that even the Taliban can talk, true things about free speech to the big techs. So this is a crazy world. US is an example.
Okay, so Bill de Blasio is a Marxist because the Taliban can speak free speech on big tech.
Talk about liberty and democracy. So we are scared with what is going on in US.
Oh, it's so sad to hear that. Do you think that when politicians in this country become totalitarian, when they strip the rights from the people they represent, that leaders around the world...
By the way, reminder, the Republican Party is literally passing, in state legislatures all around the country, passing voter restrictions, letting... paving the way so that more black people, minorities, cannot have the possibility of voting. Is that totalitarian?
Watch this and follow the example?
Sure, yes, Tucker. Sure, yes. And I have an advice for the American people. Do not think that Venezuela is something far, far, far away from you. Venezuelans during the 90s, if you tell them that one day Venezuela would turn itself a dictatorship, they would never take it serious. So this is a very strong message that you have to take care about that.
Bill de Blasio is a Marxist because the Taliban is allowed to talk on Facebook and Twitter. And, also Venezuela didn't see themselves having a dictator. What? 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 Folks, now because we did a story about Bolsonaro, I want to remind everyone, when I lived in Washington, D.C., I would attend multiple protest demonstrations all the time. I'd go I go to everything. And there was a demonstration being held when Jair Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, came to the United States to meet with the head of the CIA. That's right. Instead of meeting with Trump, he met with the head of the CIA beforehand. But when the motorcade was pulling up and Bolsonaro was getting to his hotel, I gave him the double middle finger, folks. And he looked at the crowd and he saw me. I was in the front of the crowd. So I just want to be very clear, folks. I gave the president of Brazil the double middle finger, and I wish I could have done the same to this dumb fuck kid. But either way, Bill de Blasio's a Marxist. Honestly, this is a great move from Bill. I love it. I think he's garbage for the most part, but I do love this. This is great, and I understand that it's really petty. But again, eating pizza on the sidewalk, get fucked, bitch. That's all I have to say. Good segment, that's for sure. Yeah, there's so much cringe that we still haven't gotten to. I would like to remind everyone that I'm going to be doing longer shows other than the weekends. Saturday especially, it'll probably still be like 30-40 minutes. But I'm going to be doing more longer shows here. So, there's been a lot of shit going on in Congress. And so I'm going to, this is happening. There's a lot of things going on here. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, famed cringe lord and meme extraordinaire, has some boards, some poster boards to show in Congress, and so let's watch.
A regular American citizen that decided to run for Congress and won my race representing Georgia's 14th district. I'm here to speak on behalf of the American people and how outraged we are at the policies of the Green New Deal, which are in the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill and the $3.5 trillion budget, because these policies are the most America last policies. As a matter of fact, they do nothing but put China first. Taylor, you can put up number 2 now. So we'll go ahead and address
Isn't it interesting how the little simp lord cuck sitting down is named Taylor? Marjorie Taylor Greene? Simp lord Taylor?
Policies are that are so shocking to me, and if the American people actually knew what these policies are, these globalist America last policies are, I believe they would be ringing every single phone up here, probably demanding that Congress go home, because America is only safe when Congress is out of session.
I hate to say
but unfortunately,
this,
Congress
but those
is in
with the
session,
lowest
so we can tell the
IQ.
truth about what's happening. You see, this is a simple meme that you would find on the internet, but this meme is very real. The Green New Deal, surprise, serves China and China only.
It's a very simple meme, folks. It's a very simple meme. It's a real meme. It's a simple meme, but it's also very real. I mean, again, it's where I don't even. I have nothing. There's no commentary. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, we almost did. We almost got away with it, but she called us out. Is there like, do I need to commentate on this, or is it just one of those things where I can just show the clip and you can look at my video, like my facial reactions, and I'm like, is that enough? Do I need to have any extra words? Because I have nothing. It's big stuff, folks. There's a lot of big stuff going on. It's non-stop big stuff. China banned cryotherapy. Yo, what the hell is cryotherapy? That's awesome. Cryotherapy. Cryotherapy is the use of extreme cold to freeze and remove abnormal tissue. Doctors use it to treat many skin conditions, including warts and skin tags, and some cancers, including prostate, cervical, and liver cancer. The treatment is also called cryoablation. Why would China ban cryotherapy? That sounds awesome. China's at it again. All right, folks. So yesterday there was a vote on expanding, that is, again, I want to be very clear, expanding funding for Israel's Iron Dome. And I know it's literally a joke. I mean, let's be honest. Oh, we've got the Iron Dome. What the fuck? Like, it's the Iron Dome? I'm sorry, it just sounds cringy. Every time someone says the term Iron Dome and doesn't, like, chuckle at the end of it, I think, whoa, these people are in a fantasy land. But the U.S. Congress decided, let's spend $1 billion not on restoring infrastructure, not on getting vaccines into people, not on global vaccine distribution, not on the medical system, not on fixing, railroads, not on anything that's actually useful, not for expanding the minimum wage, but they spent $1 billion on Israel's defense, expanding it. So the defense is already astronomically high, but they're like, let's give them another $1 billion. Another $1 billion, why not? So Rashida Tlaib went out there. She voted no on this garbage, and she had this to say.
We cannot be talking only about Israelis' need for safety at a time when Palestinians are living under a violent apartheid system and are dying from what Human Rights Watch has said are war crimes. We should also be talking about Palestinian need for security from Israeli attacks. We must be consistent in our commitment to human life, period. Everyone deserves to be safe there. We cannot be talking only about Israelis' need for safety at a time when Palestinians are living under a violent apartheid system.
I just watched this loop. I'm sorry. But anyway, she basically just laid it out there. Yeah, Israel sucks. Now, I want to be very clear. Ethno-states are garbage. If you support ethno-states, I don't care if it's a Muslim ethno-state. I don't care if it's a Jewish ethno-state. I don't care if it's a Christian ethno-state. I don't care whatever. I think the idea of ethno-states are cringe, and I think the idea of killing people over Holy Land, I'm sorry. The whole thing is stupid. I gotta be very clear, right? But Israel has literally billions and billions and billions of dollars, and the United States gives them billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they use those billions and billions of dollars to massacre innocent children at an alarming rate, all because of their religion, all because of where they were born. I'm sorry, what the fuck is that garbage? Right? Anyone who thinks Israel is not an apartheid state, I've got news for you. You're a dumb motherfucker. And speaking of dumb motherfuckers, let's look at Rep. Ted Deutsch's response.
Minute to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Deutsch, the chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
The gentleman from Florida is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank my friend, Chair DeLore, and I thank the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have a speech about how important it is for us to stand up against terror and the terror strikes against Israel.
So again, terror is when you have rockets thrown your way after you massacre innocent children and destroy their homes and destroy their families' homes and take all of their belongings and then kill your grandmother. That's not terror. Terror is when everyone else who survived the brutal attacks goes like, damn, what the fuck was that? Let's get you back. That's terror. Massacring innocent children? Nah. Cutting off their access to water and food and electricity? That's cool, bro. Bombing their houses? Whatever. Bulldozing houses with people still living in them? That's chill. But when they respond, that's terrorism.
Launched by the terrorist group Hamas from Gaza. 4,500 rockets that Iron Dome helped us stop. And I have a speech that's all about how important it is for us to replenish that.
Replenish that. They already have infinite money. They can do whatever they want. Their Iron Dome is fine. Again, what about the billions of dollars for, I don't know, Haitian the Haiti crisis? Are you going to give them $1 billion? No, you're going to whip them at the border and spend thousands and thousands and thousands on jet fuel to ride them back into a country that you destroyed in the first place. What if they had a bill going up for, restoring the Haitian government, restoring the economy, stimulating that economy? That would never happen, because why bother? That's a black country. Who cares about them? We only care about Israel.
But Mr. Speaker, I cannot allow one of my colleagues to stand on the floor of the House of Representatives and label the Jewish democratic state of Israel an apartheid state.
It's not a democracy. It's not a democracy. If everyone doesn't have an equal right to vote, it's not a democracy. In the same way that the United States isn't a democracy. The U.S. isn't a democracy. If you think it's a democracy, you're a dumb motherfucker. If you think Israel's a democracy, you're a dumb motherfucker. Ted Deutsch is a dumb motherfucker.
I reject it. Today, this caucus, this body, the House of Representatives will overwhelmingly stand with our ally, the State of Israel, in replenishing this defensive system. If you believe in human rights...
What are you defending from? Why are those attacks happening in the first place? Oh, we need defense. We need defense. We gotta have all this defense. Well, why do you need the defense? Oh, because we're getting attacked. Well, why are you getting attacked? You see, I don't know. I can't even listen to the rest of that because it's so stupid. But anyway, again, this whole thing is just it's so ridiculous. If you support the state or government of Israel at this point in its current state, you're dumb. Now, again, you can support Israel's right to exist, and you can support a peaceful coexistence between Israel and Palestine. But if you're saying Israel's great the way it is, I'm sorry, you're a dumb motherfucker, and I can't value you or respect you in any capacity. And not only that, but I think that if you could be a serial killer, you would be. And the only reason why you're not is because of the legal system that we have in the United States. So you are taking any avenue that you can think of in order to get your jimmies rocked. Yeah. How can I kill people without getting thrown in prison? That's supporting the state of Israel, in my opinion, as it is currently constituted. But again, folks, there's more. There's more. That's right. You thought this was over? Nope. It's never over. So, AOC. That's right. So, Rashida Tlaib gave a very great speech. In fact, I'm going to play it again in this segment here because I'm doing two separate segments. So, this is Rashida Tlaib's excellent speech. Let's watch it again.
We cannot be talking only about Israelis' need for safety at a time when Palestinians are living under a violent apartheid system and are dying from what Human Rights Watch has said are war crimes. We should also be talking about Palestinian need for security from Israeli attacks. We must be consistent in our commitment to human life, period.
So, Rashida Tlaib gives a great speech about why voting no on this expansion for funding for the Iron Dome garbage for Israel it's just, you have to vote no. I'm sorry. But AOC voted she originally voted no, and then apparently Nancy Pelosi whispered in her ear and she voted present, and then this was caught on camera.
Designated by Mr. Lawson of Florida, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Lawson will vote nay.
She apparently is crying. She's not feeling so well.
On House Resolution 483 amendment.
We don't really know
he
why
votes
yet.
nay.
We don't really know why yet. Now, again, voting present, stupid. I'm sorry. It's dumb. You shouldn't have voted present. It's really stupid. Now, I understand potentially what the political calculation could be. Now, I also want to be very clear. Jamal Bowman voted yes. What? Right, but again, these are politicians. Now, we need to understand that politicians are not always going to do the best thing possible at all times. And this is why we cannot be focusing solely on what AOC does. Right, there's a lot of people that are going out there on Twitter, on YouTube, on all the social media. AOC's canceled because she voted present. Now, again, is it a cringe vote? Absolutely. It's a lot of cringe. But Also, we don't know what Nancy Pelosi said to her. We don't know why she was crying. And we don't know that. Maybe we do now. Maybe I'm just late. Maybe she released the statement 20 minutes ago. I'm not sure. But my thing is, if you want to cancel a politician because she does one thing you don't like, you're cringy, right? It's all about a series of what's going on. It's about looking at the total package, right? AOC has made several mistakes, right? But guess what? How many people voted against it? Not nearly enough for it not to pass. So AOC's vote wasn't a make or break. And like, again, I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. But guess what? AOC is not campaigning for me. I don't live in her congressional district. She doesn't need my vote. So I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter what my opinion is at the end of the day. I think it's cringy. She should have voted no. The correct position was voting no. If I were in Congress, I would vote no. But that's just the way I am. AOC's trying to do a whole different strategy. That's her lane. That's fine. That's not my lane. So I'm free to criticize her. But at the same time, there's a lot of people going out there. AOC's canceled. Fuck AOC. She sucks. She sucks. She sucks. There's some people going out there saying that she voted to fund the Iron Dome, which is not even correct. Not even remotely accurate, right? And again, Jamal Bowman voted for it. Jamal Bowman voted yes. Another member of the squad voted yes. And those same people that are spending all day attacking AOC for voting present are not even mentioning Jamal Bowman. So I think, again, I want to be very clear that there is a coordinated hate campaign on AOC, and I'm not going to fall for it. Yeah, she fucked up. You're allowed to criticize her. That doesn't mean she's canceled. And piggybacking off of this oh, AOC is awful. She's evil. She's the devil incarnate. I'm not that kind of person. You're not going to get that kind of commentary from me. But again, yeah, she did fuck up, and that is and now, again, did she fuck up in doing what was right? Absolutely. But let's say she had an ulterior reason for doing so, and that comes out later, and it potentially leads to a blossom of a net positive. It's possible. It's a possible outcome. But guess what? I'm not the kind of person that's going to hope and pray that all of AOC's actions are going to lead to the best possible world. I don't I'm in the real world. I don't think a single politician doing something is going to save the world. And anyone who spends their time doing that kind of commentary is a loser. And so, again, I wanted to be very clear that it's not going to pass. It's not going to not be passed. It was going to pass no matter what AOC's vote was. Anyone who's going to tell you otherwise is a fucking moron. So, got to be clear, folks. But let's turn to the motherfucking White House. That's right. So the White House, in response to the outrage at what was going on at the Haitian border, the White House has responded. Here's what they're going to do. Let's listen.
First of all, they're not deportations. People are not coming into the country through legal methods. And again,
it's actually legal to seek asylum. Now, again, let's look at the history here. So the United States destabilizes and destroys the government and economy of Haiti, right? So much so that 10-ish years later, it's in complete collapse. There's no functioning government and the economy is in ruins. So where do they go to seek refuge? The United States, the same country that fucked them in the ass. And not in the good dick way, I want to be very clear, right? And they are doing so in a legal way, seeking asylum. So the U.S. government destroys their government, and then people that are just trying to live seek asylum from the very same government that destroyed their home. And then now Jen Psaki, professional dipshit motherfucker, is going up there saying, oh, it's not legal. This is Trumpism. Call it what it is. This is Donald Trump's latest press secretary. Joe Biden's handling of immigration is worse than Donald Trump's. The only difference is he's pretending it's better. It's garbage. It's trash. It's shit on my motherfucking shoes. And these people are evil, disgusting motherfuckers. And I'm going to try to get through this clip here.
First of all, they're not deportations. People are not coming into the country through legal methods. And again, our policy process has continued to be the same with Haiti as it is for anybody coming through irregular migration across our border. I'd note, as I did yesterday, that as we've applied our border restrictions, as we've applied our immigration policies, there were more than 90,000 people who departed the country, who attempted to cross our border in the month of August. That was even before we saw the horrible photos that we saw of people gathering under the bridge. There is a process that is in place as people, whether they're coming from Haiti or any part of the world, goes through.
So later on, she announced that they're banning horses. So the whips are fine. The cowboy hats are fine. The horses, that's the bad part. They're banning the horses. Also, again, we need to really understand here. What is a border? Think about this. What is a border? It's an arbitrary line in the sand. If your entire life has been destroyed and all you want to do is bring food to your starving children, you are going to do whatever it takes to accomplish that goal. What the fuck is a border? What are we doing here? What the hell are we doing here? Cowboys on horses whipping black people that are trying to give their children food. What is going on in the United States of America? What is going on in the earth? What is going on in what we call human society? This isn't society. There's no society here. It's just evil. But is it blue evil or red evil? Either way, it's evil. It's all fucking garbage. Fuck Joe Biden. All my homies hate Joe Biden. And also fuck Donald Trump. I want to remind everyone that Barack Obama was called the deporter-in-chief before Donald Trump came into office. And Joe Biden is continuing that legacy of hatred, division, and evil. All right. But folks, man, this is great. We got a banger lined up for y'all. An absolute and utter banger. Andrew, $4.99. AOC is being redistricted to a more Jewish area of New York, so her voting no would kill her politically. I'm not convinced that it would kill her politically. But I'm also not convinced that voting present is the way. Like, I don't know. I'm under the impression that that's true. But like, I don't know, and it's a very difficult position to be in, and I don't know. I don't know, but yes, that's, you know. Thank you for the info. Yeah, these dumb motherfuckers that come into the chat. Oh, they're not whips. They're reins. Oh, that's not an assault rifle. It's a semi-automatic weapon. Like, these, it's just, they're just genocidal maniacs. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. There's just genocidal maniacs. So, Donald Trump, failed presidential candidate, loser of the 2020 election, an absolute and utter fraud, corrupt gangster moron, released a statement a couple days ago. Why is the fake news media continuing on their path of saying baseless and disproven lies, in quotes, concerning the presidential election of 2020, no matter how much evidence they see? These phrases are coordinated propaganda by the lamestream. By lamestream. It is an automatic phrase they use about the 2020 election scam, when it is in fact just the opposite. The proof is massive and staggering. The presidential election of 2020 was rigged! When the information becomes public, people will see that it wasn't even close. So for whatever reason, the information 10 months later is not public yet. For whatever, I can't figure that out. But we have some new news. This was a couple days ago. Now we have some news from today. Trump blames media after Arizona audit finds Biden won. And Biden won bigly, folks. He won by a lot. So let's read. Former President Donald Trump, aka the Orange Man, on Friday laid into the news media after a draft report of the 2020 election audit in Arizona reaffirmed President Biden's victory in the state's largest county and showed Trump with fewer votes than previously counted. In a statement issued through his leadership PAC, Save America, the former president called the audit report, which is slated for release Friday afternoon, a political bombshell that has uncovered significant and undeniable evidence of fraud. Oops. Huge findings in Arizona. However, the fake news media is already trying to call it again for Biden before actually looking at the facts, just like they did in November, Trump said, invoking once again his baseless claim that the 2020 election had been stolen from him. This is a major criminal event and should be investigated by the Attorney General immediately. Why would you want Biden's Attorney General to investigate? The Senate's final report will be released today at 4 p.m. ET. I have heard it is far different than being reported by the fake news media, so we'll see what that's like in 5 hours from now. The forensic audit of the 2020 election in Maricopa County, where Phoenix is located, was initiated by the Republican-controlled Arizona State Senate in the months after Trump became the first GOP president candidate since 1996 to lose the state. The state Senate hired a Florida-based firm called Cyber Ninjas to lead the audit, which was funded largely by nonprofit groups tied to proponents of Trump's rigged election claims. A draft report that leaked ahead of the release of the official audit report, however, reaffirmed Biden as the winner of the presidential election in Maricopa County. In fact, it showed the president winning 99 more votes than he did in the certified ballot count last year. Trump, meanwhile, came up 261 votes short of where he stood in last year's official results. That's the thing about the recount stuff is how do you miss... How are you, like, fucking up 261 votes? Like, how do you, like... How does that happen? I get why there would be less votes. Well, let's say, like, I get how, like, Biden would maybe have 40 votes and then you do a recount and he has 47. But how do you have less votes? Oh, we counted this, but it turns out that wasn't Trump. That was nobody. How do you have more votes? How do you lose votes in a recount? I don't understand how that works. I really don't. Despite this, the draft report refrains from saying the findings are conclusive and recommends a series of legislative reforms, whatever. Trump lost bigly. Biden won by a lot. And this shit is going to be more and more funny. And it's going to be funny until Trump runs again and then wins. And then we're all going to die. Then it's not going to be funny anymore. But let's laugh while we still can. Because I love to laugh. Haha. I have a good sense of humor.
Only the really... I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
It's the world, folks. That's the world. Fighting off a sneeze here. Alright, folks, I got one more story lined up for today, and it's a big one. Some would even say it's huge. Y'all, I don't even know where to begin on this one. Not left. Not right, folks. But forward. Let's read. After coming up short in his presidential and New York City mayoral bids, Andrew Yang has settled on a name for his new third party, the Forward Party. is named in the final chapter of Yang's forthcoming book, Forward, Notes on the Future of Our Democracy. We don't have a democracy. A copy of which was obtained by Insider. A source close to Yang and familiar with the plans confirmed the party's existence. It exists, folks. The party exists. All right. On September 10th, but the Yang confidant was unable to disclose the name. Yang outlines key principles behind his party, which will need to be registered state by state. Are you ready for this? Ranked choice voting in open primaries. Good. But primaries? What primaries? Are you expecting more than one person to run in the Forward Party in each district? There's going to be no primaries. Fact-based governance without any sort of extrapolation that doesn't mean anything. Human-centered capitalism. What? I'm an animal rights-centered carnivore? Huh? I'm a fossil fuel-centered green energy advocate. Huh? What? Effective in modern-day government. That's the same thing as fact-based. It doesn't mean anything. Universal basic income also doesn't mean anything. If it's anything like the plan he ran on in 2020, it'll be trash. Grace and tolerance doesn't mean anything. So the only thing we see here that's actually policy is ranked choice voting, which I agree with. But let's continue to read. The dysfunction is going to kill us, Yang writes. Worse, there's no reason to think that it will change. The dysfunction is called capitalism. If you are still running as a capitalist, you have lost the plot. You're stupid. Okay? The two sides will be trapped in a war that both sides win. They will still be... In a war that both sides win, they will still be hovering in one of the most affluent areas of the country, trading power, but the people will lose. Yang argues that the duopoly of America's two-party political system is unsustainable. I agree. And that politic-ans are ill-equipped to deal with the shifting technological landscape amid the rise of artificial intelligence and other dynamics accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. I do agree with that. We are witnessing a cascade of crises. From a pandemic to a punitive economy to police brutality to the selling of our attention and digital data to the highest bidders. So buy my book! And that will solve everything. I don't even, I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna bother reading this. But again, it's a whole big kit and caboodle of cringe, folks. Again, the 6 points, none of them are policies, except for one, ranked choice voting. And again, if you can actually get ranked choice voting, that's a win. We'll see if that happens. I don't think that's gonna happen. And also, ranked choice voting doesn't even really help third-party candidates. Look at Maine. Maine had a senatorial election, and the Green Party candidate got like 5%. They have ranked choice in Maine. So, I mean, ranked choice voting, people view that as like a cheat code. Like IDDQD, boom, I'm invincible, I'm running through. That's not a cheat code, you're still gonna lose. But again, I don't even know what the fuck this is. It's cringe. If you are still on the Yang Gang at this point, you're cringe, you're a loser. I don't know what else to say to you. You lost in 2020. You lost with the mayor thing, and you're going to keep losing because you're a loser. And that's all I have to say. You're a loser. I'm not a loser. You should be like me. That is to say, not be a loser. So subscribe and give me money on Patreon because I'm going to start my own third party. I'm going to call it the Cringe Party. And we're all going to do is we're going to have all of our campaigns funds be used for fun parties. Like a literal party. That's like, it's not a political, it's an actual party. And we're going to have a party and we're going to have a lot of, we're going to have, a lot of shit going on. We're going to have music, we're going to have drugs, and it's going to be cool. And, not like those losers that are doing that capitalism party. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I'm going to have a new great idea. How about capitalism, except human-centered? Doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry, the whole thing is cringe. Anyone see that the tweet of the person that served Yang in Iowa during the primaries who was asked by Yang to vote for him right off the bat, and then after finishing Yang, you have to 12% tip? Jesus Christ. Yang is just going to be a vulture. He's going to go run in California. He's going to go run in New York. He's going to go run in fucking Iowa. He's going to go run. He's just running everywhere. Can't stop running. But anyway, folks, that's the show for today. Again, I'm going to try to do more, like, 90-minute length shows. And tomorrow, Saturday, I will be live 1 hour earlier than usual. Tomorrow, so 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And so that's going to be a thing. And again, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats. I'm going to be trying to... You know, I say this a lot, but I'm, you know, there's a lot of things that I need to do that I've really been putting off, and it's because I'm a bad person. But I'm going to try to be a good person, and that means more streaming. Someone asked earlier when I'm going to be doing the Spook 5 Kilar streaming times. I don't know yet. But when I find out, I will tell you on the Above It All show, and I will probably have the stream pages up. My plan is to do something for every weekday of the week. At least. That's the minimum. But ideally, I would like to do something for every day of the week. But we'll get into that. We'll see. And I will, again, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And that's it. That's all I got. No one is perfect, Andrea, except Catherine. I think you have the names mixed up. Thank you all. Have a great day.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
Yeah. I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave in the worst parts of Europe.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
I admit to always improving.
And this is just the beginning of America First.